Good morning, I'm Mabel Jong. You're watching the World Healthcare Congress Interview Zone, and I'm so happy to have Laura Putnam here. She's the founder of Motion Infusion, based out of San Francisco. Laura, great to see you.
Thanks, Mabel. It's great to be here.
Well, it's been nice to see your energy throughout this conference, and I think you have a very positive message to share about wellness. Tell me about Motion Infusion.
We are a wellness provider that works with companies and organizations to help them to, quote, get in motion, literally and figuratively. So literally as in getting people up and out of their seats, and then figuratively as in helping people to make a change, because ultimately that's what this whole movement is about. Most of our chronic diseases today are caused by, come down to the choices that we make. Our health really comes down to the choices that we make. So promoting health is really about getting people to make better choices, and most people actually know what those choices are. It's just a matter of closing the knowing and doing gap.
Okay.
So that's really what we're doing, is helping people to close that gap.
Okay. Well, we've spoken with a lot of people throughout this conference, and a lot of folks have sat right in that chair, and they say their company is different, and then we have other people who say these wellness programs don't work. So what is really different about what Motion Infusion is doing? You work with companies to create a culture of wellness. How do you do that?
You know, the way I like to look at it is that we're facing a tidal wave. I mean, there's really no other way to describe it. And I often describe health promotion as the wild, wild west. Nobody has figured it out, and we're all trying to figure out.
You mean a tidal wave of information about what to do,
a tidal wave
what's
in
right?
terms of what's coming up.
Okay.
Already, as you know, a third of us in this country are obese, another third are overweight. 7 out of 10 deaths annually are caused by chronic disease. Almost half of us have either a chronic condition or chronic disease. And all of us in this field are really trying to figure out how to solve this. And I think that the most disturbing part of this equation is what's happening to our children. That for the first time ever, it's projected that our children are likely to have a shorter life expectancy than we do.
So what is Motion Infusion then? How do you infuse motion?
So basically our sweet spot is that we bring best practices from the field of education and educational reform, which is what my background was before going into this field, and we bring that to health promotion. So we're able to take this content, which is these are the things that we need to do in order to be healthier, but we're able to make it more engaging than a lot of the other programs that I've seen out there.
How so?
We bring best practices from the field of education, such as making the learning more multidimensional. So incorporating a theory called Howard Gardner's multiple intelligences theory, which says that there are multiple ways of knowing and thinking. So we design programs that are kinesthetic, that are interpersonal, intrapersonal, that are analytical, that are logical, that have all of these different ways of thinking, so that it feels much more multidimensional. So there's visual aspects, auditory aspects, as well as interactive kind of aspects, so that it feels like this content really comes alive. We also really focus more on the emotional engagement piece, as opposed to just simply delivering a lot of content. Because again, I think one of the problems is that we, in this field, we tend to deliver too much information, as opposed to really connecting with people on a more personal and emotional level. And that's where I think advertisers, for example, know that people buy with their hearts, and then they justify later with their minds. And we need to get people to buy into health promotion with their hearts.
Well, I have been able to speak with the CEO of one company who makes fitness like a game. He'll go into a company and teach them a lot of games on how to get people moving throughout the day. Then there is another company that will actually pay employees to get up several times during the day from their desk and walk around. He'll pay cash for that. What does Motion Infusion do?
There's a big debate around that. Is it, do we want to go the direction of paying people or even penalizing people for, if they don't make a change, penalizing them for not making that change? Or do we want to look for other ways to do this? And Motion Infusion really comes out on the other side. We believe that the research shows that in order to get people to make a lifelong change, because that's really what we're asking people to do, they have to be what's called intrinsically motivated to change. And if you pay someone to make a change, there are all kinds of unintended consequences that can happen. One is that we are human beings, we're complex, and we do funny things, and such as if I'm getting paid to make a change, I'm going to find, quote, the path of least resistance. In other words, I'm going to game it, or I'm going to cheat the system. And whereas if we tap into some of these basic human needs that we all have a basic human need to be connected to one another. And that's one of the things I think that these gamification tools are really providing, is they're providing a meaningful way for people to connect with each other.
Okay.
We also have a deep need to play, and that's something that they're also tapping into. We also have a deep need to feel competent or feel a sense of mastery. That's why sometimes these competitions can be really helpful. And we also have a deep need to feel autonomous and kind of change on our own terms. So those are the kinds of things that Motion Infusion is really trying to tap into. Is to tap into what is personally meaningful for people, start with that, and then move forward from there.
Sounds great. I look forward to hearing more.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Laura.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Laura Putnam with Motion Infusion. And I'm Mabel Jong. Thanks for watching.